I get asked all the time how I find cheap cars to buy and rent out on Turo. Just this month, I purchased this 2013 Lexus for $11,750, about $3,000 below market value. And about a week after I bought that Lexus, I bought this 2011 Mazda 3 for $4,700. The majority of cars in my fleet were purchased for between 10 to 25% below market value, which means that not only am I able to get a great car at a great price, but it means that I'm able to make money off of that car for however long it's on the Turo platform, and then it means that whenever it's time to sell or if that car gets totaled, I can make more money off of that sale or total loss. Buying these below market value cars is the core of my business model. It's the foundation of everything that I do on Turo. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you guys through my entire process from start to finish on how I do this, from market research to finding the cars, communicating with the seller, and more. So let's get started. Now, before we dive in, I do want to let you guys know that today is actually the last day that you can buy the Car Sharing Masterclass at the current price point, because tomorrow, August 1st, we're going to be releasing the Car Sharing Masterclass, the second iteration. Now, the Car Sharing Masterclass second iteration has been a labor of love, and it's been in progress since November of last year. By planning out the content, scripting it, getting everything put together, it has been a huge undertaking, and I am so incredibly proud of the product that the second iteration is. In this course, you will learn every single thing that you need to know about starting and scaling a car sharing fleet with the exact same business model that I've used in order to grow my business to a six-figure income that supports not only myself, but my husband and a part-time employee. The course goes over everything from how to buy cars, how to set up your Turo listings, how to automate your systems and processes, how to navigate customer support, and there are even checklists, scripts, and templates included to make your Turo operations as streamlined and easy to start up as possible. The Car Sharing Masterclass has over 900 members, many of which have used this course to start and scale their own 5-figure per month operations. Whenever you sign up for the Car Sharing Masterclass, not only do you get access to the course content, but you'll also be invited to our private Discord group where myself, HP, and other course members are in there on a daily basis answering questions and connecting with each other about car sharing. And you'll be invited to our monthly Zoom calls where we do live Q&As and help each other grow. So if you want to lock in your spot into the Car Sharing Masterclass and gain complimentary entry to the Car Sharing Masterclass second iteration once it comes out tomorrow, then be sure to sign up using the link down in the description below. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Aubrey Janik. I am a car sharing host who specializes in buying low-end to mid-tier economy cars. I currently have 27 in my fleet. I also have 3 personal cars, which brings my total fleet count to 30 vehicles. All of my cars, with the exception of my husband's personal car, is completely paid off, so we have no debt associated with our fleet. We prioritize buying reliable, below-market value, and economical cars. Our entire business model revolves around the idea that people need a car to get from point A to point B, and we cater to that customer. And how I find and buy cars is definitely one of the most common questions that I get asked, so I thought that it would be valuable to make a video talking about this exclusively. Now, keep in mind that I couldn't possibly go into 100% in-depth explanation of every single thing within this video, or else I possibly could be talking for 1 to 2 hours. So instead, I'm going to be going over the ideas and kind of the different methods that I explore, but I'm not going to be going into a ton of depth on each individual one. But by the end of this video, you should have a decent idea on how to go about doing your own market research and finding your own below market value deals. So the first thing that you want to keep in mind whenever you're looking to buy a car is that not all cars are created equal. This is a common misconception with my Turo fleet, that HP and I only go after cheap beater cars, and we will essentially buy anything that is dirt cheap, and that just isn't the case. We have a very long list of blacklisted vehicles, and these are cars that we simply will not touch with a 10-foot pole. These are cars like newer model Fords, BMWs, Jeeps, Nissans. We are extremely picky with the cars that we buy, and currently we only buy 2011 Ford Focuses, Hyundais, but only if they have the engine warranty, any Toyota, any Lexus that we can find for a good price, which is very hard to find, as well as Mazdas. And that's basically it, though we do occasionally make an exception here and there depending on the vehicle. And while we may be putting the cart before the horse here, it's also important to stress to do your own PPI and to make sure that you are inspecting each and every car that you buy. You want to look for obvious signs and red flags, things like rust, signs that a car had been in a severe accident. Of course, you want a car to meet the Turo terms of service, and you want it to be below market value. And you really just want to look at the car from a full picture standpoint. A car with too many minor problems is one that's probably not worth buying. So I really can't stress enough how important it is to buy the right car at the right price, because buying the wrong car at the right price still isn't a good buy. But let's dive into my screen and let's actually get started with this process. So the first thing that you want to do is you're going to want to do market research and make sure that there is demand for the type of vehicle that you're wanting to buy. In this case, we're going to be talking about this in the context of Denver, Colorado, and we're going to be honing in on this low-end economy car. So that car that's priced for between $25 and $35 per day, which is really my bread and butter. But you can apply this market research method to any type of car or any type of price range. You just would have to play around with the filters. So you're going to open two different Turo tabs and you're going to choose your city. For this example, we're using Denver, and you're going to choose two dates. For one of the dates in one of the tabs, you're going to choose a date that's far out in the future. For this example, I'm choosing like November around Thanksgiving. Then you're going to want to, in the other tab, you're going to want to choose the same city and you're going to want to choose a date very near in the future. I'm recording this video on the 27th and I'm choosing today at 5 p.m. and I want to see what cars are available. Now from here, you'll see that there are a list of vehicles that are available for both in November as well as today. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to filter by price. So we're going to want to go in and we're going to want to choose the price category that we're wanting to target, this low-end economy model. So we're going to go through and we're actually going to choose $25 to $40 per day. And we're going to see how many cars are available in Denver for this price range for this time. And you can see that no cars are available. If we zoom out and search a larger parameter, there still are no cars available. Now, if we go on to the other tab, you can see here that there are 14 cars available in the Denver area. If we zoom out a bit, there'll probably be more. 25 cars, so around the same area. We'll actually zoom in a bit. But there are 14 cars available in the Denver area in this price range. For fun, let's actually broaden the search even more. Let's do $25 to $50 per day. You can see that in November, there are over 200 vehicles available. And if we apply those same filters to today, you can see that no cars are available. Let's keep going until we have some more hits. So let's do $25 to $55 per day. 200 plus vehicles available. 25 to 50 vehicles per day, nothing available. Let's even change the time a bit. Let's do 8:30 p.m. There are now 2 cars available. So looking at this data that's right here, this tells us that there is a ton of demand in the Denver market for cars within this price range. Because if we look at cars that are in November, you can see that there are over 200 vehicles available in this price range. There are a lot of cars available to rent. But whenever we look at cars available today with those exact same parameters, exact same filters, there's only 2 available, which goes to tell me that there is a ton of demand for this price range. It either means that A, all of these cars are booked out, B, hosts are not accommodating to this type of time frame, or option C, cars are snooze, they're unavailable, whatever the case is. Regardless of the reasoning behind it, there are only 2 cars available in Denver within this price range available today for a last-minute booking. This is a great sign that there's a lot of demand for this type of vehicle in the Denver market. Now, if we were to look at these 2 different tabs and we were to see that there's 200 cars available in November and there was 190 cars available today, that would be a sign that there wasn't any demand. And while that's really rare to see with the low-end economy model, you do occasionally see that with the luxury model where you'll see a ton of cars available in the future and a ton of cars available today. But whenever you see this huge discrepancy between how many cars are available in the future versus how many cars are available today, that tells you that there's a lot of market demand. So what I really like to do whenever I'm looking to buy a new car is I like to do this exercise, see how many cars are available under this make and model. You can play around with different body styles, different price ranges, years. The opportunities and kind of the different options that you can explore are endless. But doing this exercise is a really great way to decide what cars are worth buying in your market. So once we know what type of car we're looking to buy based on Turo demand, you can then figure out what make, model, and year you want to buy based off of how much your budget's going to be. Now, in this example, we're going to try to find a car that's around $5,000, something that's between a 2011 and a 2013, and we're going to be looking specifically at Mazdas or Ford Focuses. Now, Facebook is my favorite website to use in order to find car deals. In fact, I've purchased probably 98% of all of my vehicles from Facebook. I used to actually buy from Craigslist, but I found over the years that Craigslist just isn't as good as it used to be, so Facebook is my go-to now. So then you're going to go to Facebook Marketplace and you're going to click vehicles. That way you can get this parameter list where you can actually go in and filter the vehicles that you want to look at. For price, I'm going to do a minimum price of $1,000 just because if a car is less than $1,000, it's probably a scam. We're going to do the year from 2011 to 2015. Again, because if something is 6,500 and is newer than a 15, it's probably a scam. and we're going to do mileage, a max of 129,000 miles. So once you have all of your filters set and Facebook is giving you your search results, it really is just a matter of scanning through these different cars and literally looking for the needle in the haystack. So right off the bat, we see this 2012 Mazda 3 with 97,000 miles for $4,500. That actually is a very solid car, and I actually might be interested in buying that if it's clean title. The first thing I always do is to scroll down and see if this car is a clean title, and you can see immediately it's rebuilt title, so we're going to skip over that. We continue scrolling, and this 2012 Mazda 3 looks like a promising buy. It's unclear if this car is clean title or not, but it does look really solid. In fact, it looks really similar to the Mazda that I just bought. And assuming that it is a clean title, $5,500 for a 2012 with 100,000 miles is pretty good. And you can see that private party value for this car on average is anywhere between $5,500 and $7,100 with an average of $6,300. And so given that this car is $5,500, this would be a car that's below market value. And truthfully, this is one that I probably wouldn't hesitate to buy if it was a clean title. Here's another great one, a 2013 Mazda 3. Let's look at this one. I typically don't like to go off of this from Facebook, and instead I'll do my own research. Again, we don't know whether or not this is a clean title because he doesn't say in the description, and the photos look as though they were taken with a potato. The exterior looks really good, but the fact he has seat covers can be a little bit questionable. Does he have seat covers because the seats are terrible, or does he have seat covers because he just likes the look of seat covers? But at 88,000 miles, this car could actually be a really solid buy. Of course, it would be pending those seats as well as how the car drives. And those are all the below market value Mazda 3s that we've seen. You can see that whenever we start filtering out these different cars, there's only 9 cars left to look at, and the majority of these don't meet what we're looking for. This black 2012 Mazda 3 could potentially be a good buy. It looks extremely clean. It looks like a good car. Not a fan of those graphics right here, but it looks like it could be solid. It also looks as though it does have a clean title, but at this price point, it isn't exactly what I'm looking for. So if I'd be able to get him down to say $5,500, this would be a car that I would potentially feel more comfortable buying, but not at this $6,500 price point because that's just fair market value and we're looking for below market. But let's look at a few other examples. Hyundai Sonatas are one of my favorite types of cars to buy because of the fact that Hyundai actually has an engine warranty on these cars, so they can be extremely reliable and they offer a great safety net. And I think whenever it comes to your bang for your buck vehicle, Hyundais can't be beat. They look great, they have a lot of luxuries, and they're cheap. We're going to put in the same parameters into Facebook for a Hyundai Sonata, and we're just going to simply scroll until we find one that catches our eye. And right off the bat, you can see that this Hyundai Sonata for $5,000 looks like it could be promising. It has 76,000 miles, it's a clean titled vehicle, and they say there's no mechanical issues. Truthfully, this might be a car that I look at buying for my own fleet. So whenever I find a car that I really like, in this case, this 2011 Hyundai Sonata is a great buy, I'll of course want to compare it to KBB values. Private party, this car has an average value of between $6,500 and $8,100, with the average being $7,300. At a $5,000 price point, this car almost seems too good to be true, but it would absolutely be worth looking at. In fact, if this car is legit, this would be a textbook definition of a really great Turo car that you can buy at a below market value price. In fact, I'm going to actually message this person because I would be interested in looking at this car myself. So whenever it comes to the next stage of the buying process, once you find the car that you're looking at buying, you really have to go through the typical car negotiation. So the first thing I'll do is ask, hey, is this car available? I then will confirm, does this car have a clean title? And I want to ask for the VIN because I want to make sure that I run the VIN on every car before I go look at it so that I don't waste my own time. If the car isn't an amazing deal, I'll typically try to negotiate and lower the price over Facebook Messenger, because if this is a type of car where I wouldn't want to go look at it at its current price point, but I would if I could get it down maybe $500 or $1,000, I will try to negotiate online and get them down to that price point. So for example, if a car was priced at $6,500, I may message them and say, hey, would you take $5,750? I have cash and I'll come today. If they say no, I'll come back and say, what about $6,000? And then I'll basically go back and forth until either I decide it's not worth it or I agree to the price point that they're offering. Other times when a car is an amazing deal and I don't want to lose out on the opportunity, I will simply tell the seller that I will meet them and go look at the car today. And I'll do negotiating in person. For example, this chat box right here was for my 2011 Mazda that I just purchased for $4,700. It was listed for $5,500, which was a solid deal. Because this car was a really solid deal from the get-go, I actually didn't negotiate with the seller from the beginning. Instead, I told them I would check out the car and then I negotiated in person. From there, I was able to get the price down from $5,500 to $4,700. I typically will just feel out the individual situation, and if I feel it's appropriate to negotiate through Messenger, I will. Other times I'll do it in person, but the majority of times I do some negotiating over the Messenger app. But truthfully, that is the entire process. It certainly is easier said than done, because not only do you have to find these cars on Facebook, you have to verify that they are a clean title, and you'd be surprised at how many of these cars are said to have clean titles, but in reality they don't. And then you of course have to go to the vehicle, test drive it, and make sure that it all checks out. And I would say of all of the cars that I inquire or look at, I only buy less than 5% of them, because the majority of the ones that I look at end up being complete duds. Another thing to keep in mind is that you can find really great deals on Facebook by simply just being patient. I tend to look at Facebook all the time throughout the day, whether I'm cooking dinner, in between meetings, waiting in line at the grocery store. Basically any lull in my day is filled by looking at Facebook Marketplace. And this can be a great way to find those good deals right whenever they're published. In fact, there are a few cars in our fleet that we bought well below market value, and we inquired about the vehicle within about 10 minutes of the vehicle being published. So we were the first one to inquire, and thus we got the deal. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. At the end of the day, the key factors to finding below market value deals include patience. You just have to keep looking and you'll eventually find one. Narrowing down your search on what vehicle you want to buy, because if you're casting a large net, it'll be very hard to find the right vehicle. And educating yourself on what a fair market price or below market value price is to pay for a vehicle. And you'll find that you'll learn more and more about what a good price is the more that you search for cars. And just a reminder that if you're interested in signing up for the Car Sharing Masterclass, today is the last day that you can get this at the current price point and gain complimentary access to the second iteration, because this new version is being released tomorrow, August 1st. And like always, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it. So make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.